powered by Riverside.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy GQ and the man named Boulevard. And we are here for another great episode of Live from the Bench. Season 3, episode 1.
Yeah. Y'all asking where season 2 went? I don't know. He can explain it.
So, for those of you who don't know, if you notice that our branding changes every now and then. Remember in the beginning, we had the neon Live from the Bench logo. Then we had the graffiti Live from the Bench logo. And now we have the blocky, bulky LFTB. It's just a new brand, a new take on life. You know, it's just a new season.
Right. And that
But just like
podcast out there calling themselves Live from the Bench, yeah, y'all gonna have some problems soon. So.
Oh yeah. Cease and desist will be coming, just so you know. But for those of you who are watching, I just want to make sure that you take a chance and go down and hit that subscribe button. And if you know we're going to be putting out some good stuff, go ahead and hit that like button while you're at it. Yeah. With that being said, because Boulevard's trying to tell us something. With that being said, we're going to hit y'all with some new stuff. The Arena Football League is in shambles at this point. We're excited for its return, but clearly we weren't because they weren't making any money. But it looks as if they are going to be closing.
Who was excited for their return? Nobody even knew they were coming back. Nobody knew.
That is also true. Nobody knew because they didn't market it.
I mean, I found out today what channel that it was coming on today, and there ain't no game today. So, I'll explain why soon.
Yes, we will. So, and I don't know if we say the downfall starts with Lee Hutton or if it's not going to finish with Lee Hutton. I feel like it's going to finish with Titans, Rams, and Memphis. No, it wasn't Memphis Showboats. I don't care. Michigan Panthers head coach Jeff Fisher. Anyway, we're going to get to that later in the video.
I think that guy's like one of the worst coaches around, man.
He's the best.
Yeah. The best at ruining a quarterback, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Vince Young.
So, how are we going to get into this? All right, let's talk about it. So, a few teams have been dropping out. Philadelphia Soul was one team.
Sad.
They dropped out players. The reason why they're dropping out is because Lee Hutton made promises that his ass couldn't cash. Minnesota lawyer, Lee Hutton the third or second or third, doesn't really matter. Lee Hutton made some promises, basically paying players, paying for travel, paying for lodging for visiting players. He hasn't been doing that. Players getting kicked out of Motel 6s for the Soul players. Players are deciding they are not going to take the field until they get paid.
As is their right.
Players made a 5-hour bus trip. That wasn't even paid for. They didn't get paid. They said, we're not playing. So basically, under Lee Hutton's leadership, nobody wants to play. Nobody wants to take the field. Nobody's getting paid. I don't even know if coaches or owners are getting paid. I mean, I don't know if they should get paid.
Okay.
They're kind of like the people. But, I mean, everybody should get paid for the work that they put in.
Mm-hmm. You go out there on the field, you means you deserve to be paid. Especially
absolutely.
supposed to be professional. You've signed a contract and all that nonsense. And yeah, you deserve to be paid for what you've done, for what you've agreed to do, what service has been provided. I mean, if they're not giving you the opportunity to go out there and do your job, that's not on you. That's on them. So players,
Absolutely.
they've screwed all these players. We're just like hanging on to probably in some cases like this is their last chance last year. They're never going pro. They're never going to the NFL. They'll probably never be in the UFL or whatever it's called now. This is as high as it goes for them. And they got this year. They just want their kid to see them play. Whatever happened, You know what I mean? Like these, and they're wasting these people's dreams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of these people have have jobs.
Yeah, right.
And yeah.
They have lives. They have bills to go pay. I mean, this is time they could be doing that. But no, you're trying to get them to go out and play a very physical game of football. Well, not very physical. It's Arena League, but football. And you're not willing to pay them for this. So somehow you have a TV contract. I've never heard of it. You have zero promotion. So you should have some sort of income coming in, but you never even gave these players a chance because nobody knew you were back.
Yeah.
First week of Arena League, you don't think people would have watched the first week of Arena League? We watched the first week of everything every time. That's the guarantee. Mm-hmm. We're going to check out the first week. And if you're good, we'll be back the second week. We'll probably be gone by week 4. But we'll be there for the first couple weeks. But they couldn't even do that right. Couldn't tell us where it was. Couldn't tell us, hey, we exist again. This is our schedule. Because the websites, plural, more than one. Websites. Can't figure out where to go. Like, please, you've been there. You tell these people what that experience is. I've been talking.
And me being the side of I'm a media marketing guy. That's what I do. I love the whole branding of any type of business. That's what I do with us. The branding, like the background you see here, I created that. The logo, I created that. I do branding. So one of the most important things about a business's online presence is a website. They have a website, not sure how effective it is because it doesn't give any information. There is no commercials. We haven't heard anything on Twitter. If you look at their Twitter feed, there's no mention of games. It's just not doing anything. And like there's no contact us. There's no, and then the teams have no individual websites. They're
what the, so how can you even follow the teams if you can't get a hold of the rosters?
Social media.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mistake. I guess some of them have websites. Others, for example, Philadelphia Soul, it goes to a lander page for GoDaddy.com.
Hot, that still exists. Shout out to Candice Michelle.
Don't know who that is.
The GoDaddy girl.
Oh.
Candice Michelle from WWE. Or F, maybe.
That's her. That's hers. Okay.
Yeah, she used to be in all the commercials once upon a time.
So anyway, there is no notice whatsoever, no notification whatsoever on team news about what's going on. I mean, of course, why would you put bad publicity on your site? But it's information that people want to know, so you should be wanting to put it out there. And mind you, I know early in the week when we discussed this, I wanted to give Lee Hutton the benefit of the doubt. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because it was their first year. And like we talked about, we felt like they just rolled this thing out way too fast because they just announced that they were coming back last year. I remember I reached out to Lee Hutton when they did. Mind you, Lee Hutton does not respond to emails. He doesn't respond to anything. I got a response from Pat Pimmel earlier today on LinkedIn, which is insane to me. Like he responded to me today.
The coach.
Yes, the coach. He got back to me sooner. Tired. Just there's a lot of me reaching out to some people. Tyrod, I talked to him earlier today, and basically what's happening is you're dealing with a commissioner who is being ousted. He's ousted now. A lot of people want to say, like, well, if you have a boss that is not performing well enough for your business to succeed, you terminate them, or you find a way to get, or your board would vote them out. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I have some comment from Rapid City Marshals owner Wes Johnson, who went on the local station KOTA TV, and to say he basically said, my roster, so many people on my team quit. They quit. They're upset because they haven't gotten paid, which justifiably so. His response to Lee Hutton was because of all his promises, the NFL Network deal, he said, Hutton needs to be taken out of his position. But no matter how bad things get in the NFL, me and my fellow owners are powerless to kick the commissioner to the curb. Owners can't vote him out. We don't have much say in that, other than voicing our concerns and demanding a change. The same day, Georgia Force quarterback Justin Arth announced via Twitter that the team had yet to pay him or his teammates' salaries for the first two games.
Jesus.
And the team had officially folded. That is another team. We had the Soul. Now we have the Georgia Force. Then Justin Arth continued. He said, a few of my teammates are now stranding in the team hotel. He wrote, we need to be out by Saturday. They started a GoFundMe just to have enough money to get the players home.
No. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. That's wild. Like they screwed everybody. Like a lot of people got fucked over in this deal. This is some Bishop Sycamore level shit. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Like they just scammed. They basically scammed these players, wasted their time, wasted their energy, wasted their effort. They just wanted to play football. They signed on to play football, to be paid to play football. It ain't millions of dollars, but it's something to do what they love. And they do this to them. It's scammy. Like, I mean, you got maybe the players didn't invest so much financially, but they expected to be compensated for their efforts.
Right.
I mean, who wouldn't? It's football. This isn't the high school level. Like, once you're a grown person and you decided, yeah, I'm going to play football at the professional level, you expect to be paid for it. What about these people with insurance? Like, where do they stand there? Did the team cover any of that? How long do they get to keep those plans if they did? Like, what's the deal with that situation? There's a lot of things that these players got fucked on. And I can only imagine that this will be the last time that they try this Arena League shit. I mean, because this is the third time in recent memory, and I feel like there's no option, but they can't go back to it again after this. They ruined the good name of it, what little credibility it had as an option for football.
Well, here's the thing about that, and this is the thing, and I don't understand why this was even an idea that came across, because There's still the National Arena League that's going strong. It's still going.
Mhm.
I don't understand why that we're not having an issue with that. There's no issue with that. The National Arena League, that's not having an issue. Also, the Indoor Football League, which was basically what happened to the Arena Football League. The Arena Football League teams packed up, went to the Indoor Football League.
Mm.
They're still going. There's not an issue. So I'm trying to figure out where the screw up was. And you take the same model there. If that works, that's what you take. You don't reinvent the wheel, and I feel like that's may have been what Lee Hutton was trying to do. Within a year, you're trying to you did like you basically made an announcement. We're going to relaunch the AFL. Boom. We're going to relaunch the AFL. Cool beans. So that means 2028 we should see a launch, or I'll say 2025. But you're trying to launch less than a month, less than a year later. That's not happening. That's not happening. And it's so insane that they thought that this was something that they could do. It was bad leadership, bad management all the way home. Um, I don't know. And you know what's kind of like, foreshadowing all of this is prior to the season, Mustafa Shakur, along with the Logan Venture Capital Group or whatever the group was called, was supposed to
This is my
take
thinking.
ownership.
Logan Venture.
They were supposed to take ownership of the Philadelphia Soul. Now, Mustafa Shakur, former Wizards basketball player, he's a journeyman basketball player and local business person, if that's what you want to call him. He must have saw the light and was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this." They backed out prior to the season, so that didn't happen. And then also the
So
Philadelphia
this team went in
Soul.
with no ownership.
Yes.
Right.
And it's insane. Because if people came into and which is it poses so many questions. There's still a lot of questions because if there are actual owners to this team, did these owners buy in? Did they pay anything to the league? Because if they did, how much did they pay into the league? Like, let's say a team cost $500,000. They bought in $500,000. Where did that $500,000 go?
Sounds about right.
Like, where did it go? Like, where's the league's money that they need to pay for the players? Because I have a lot of questions. Like, where did all of the money go if owners are buying in?
Seriously.
And then
Like that's really the main
something that
question. Where is the money?
Yeah.
Because it's like, how did you even think? How did you plan to even start out of the gates if you didn't have money? I mean, really, it's like it just seems like whoever was at the top, maybe it was the league person, but were they rushing to get the league out? Or because it did not seem like they were making. It kind of seems like they rushed the product to market before it was ready.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
you made a game. There's a lot of hype for the game. In this case, there was none, but, roll with me. Yeah, so you put this game out early, and this game has a lot of bugs in it. So nobody wants it. So are you not going to pay to people who made the game? It made more sense in my head. But
no, you are absolutely right.
Here and you're not promoting it. and you're not paying the people who are responsible for it. What was the plan? You can't fix the bugs like you would in a game. To go back to my whatever, you can't fix the bugs later on because these people have to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
These people have bills. These people have children. These people have sick, whoever, whatever reasons. There is no reasons needed. They are out there. They've done it. They deserve to be paid.
Yes.
It's absurd to think that you're going to go into the season with no money to pay the players and expect to have a season. Expect to even like teams are in their teams folding in the first week because they can't pay players. Somebody was really irresponsible with the product, with this league, because where's the money? Like you said, how are you going to put a product out with no money behind it? Did you expect the players to just roll with it, to just go with the flow on this matter? Is that stupid? You can't expect that out of people. So either the money disappeared or there was no money to begin with. Either way, someone who was at the top was very irresponsible and did not think it through.
Right.
Just they had a mandate to just get it out there, but they got to put it out there before it was even close to ready. Like you still had travel issues to work with. You still had hotel issues to work with. You took a team from another league to plop it into your league, and that team had to leave the league immediately for what, copyright reasons? I don't know. They were obligated to the other league though. Like this is not thought out. This is not planned. These kind of things don't happen if you're covering your ass on these moves. If you're thinking, you're actually making these moves with intentions, not just, I need to fill this spot. I'm going to take this team from this league. Never mind what they got to do to get here. No, but it doesn't make sense. You got coaches resigning. 2 games in because you're not paying coaches. You got players leaving, quitting because you're not paying players. This is idiotic. It's idiotic. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Who is it? Your boy? What's his name? Lee Hutton?
Lee Hutton.
It can't just be him. It can't just be him. Because if it's just him, that means no one around him had the good sense to foresee this.
Yeah.
This has to be like a group operation. They were all aware that they had to be aware that there was no money. What was their plan? Where was income supposed to come in from? You're not promoting the team. You can't even find the rosters. So how are you going to build fan support when the fans don't even know you're there? How are you going to get people coming in when no one knows you exist? It's like you're supposed to be on TV, but TV isn't saying you're there. So we don't know you exist. You don't have money to pay players. Why you weren't ready. They was not ready. The league was not ready. Next year.
Yeah, man, you need to look this up. That's what we do.
Just plan ahead. You don't have to rush it. You had time. You have time. There's always football. People will always watch football, even if it's silly ass arena league. Doesn't matter if it's gimmicked.
That's right. 20 minutes.
Like it doesn't matter what your gimmick is. If you're bringing football out there, it'll find a market. People love football.
People love football.
You could have just been patient, cautious, crossed your I's, dotted your T's, and just cover. You had your bases.
Don't want more food and water, babe.
Happened. You were prepared. I mean, don't even get me started on the fact that Jeff Fisher's involved. Because I mean, that's got to be a net negative anyway. Just having him involved has to be a negative on the league. It's like, okay, the coaches probably sucked if this guy's one of the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all
He
know
was
Jeff Fisher's a terrible fucking coach. Period.
yeah, he was the president of AFL, the player development. But
Why? Who did he develop?
I don't know. It's just one of those situations. It's just like really wrecked my brains because if this was done correctly, and I hate to sound cocky, but I could have done better. But it's just like done correctly, you could find success in something like this.
This was not how you
Because
do it. Anybody out there with
yeah,
aspirations of starting a league of any kind, don't do what these people did. Take your time and
yeah.
do it with patience. Don't force that shit to market before it's ready because it will crash and burn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need to have sponsors and deals in place. You have to have people, you have to have backing in place. You have to have stadium deals in place. You need to have contracts and you need to have there's one thing to have contracts, you need to have money allocated already. That money needs to be allocated already. Your
Mhm.
website
You should already know
and
where that money is
yeah,
accounted
like
for. Shit.
lot like you need to have money to pay for lodging already allocated. Now I understand if you don't have ownership, if a team doesn't have ownership, that means either the league has to take ownership of that team or that team does not have a team. That team does not even it doesn't even get a logo. You don't say, "Oh, the Philadelphia Soul is coming back," and they don't have an owner. If the Philadelphia Soul doesn't have an owner, you don't announce the Philadelphia Soul. You don't announce a team that
Right.
doesn't
How are
have
you bringing
a
teams to
owner.
market without owners?
Yeah, they that shouldn't never happen. And if you want to sit, and I can understand if the idea is that hey, the owners are gonna front the bill on salary, da 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 da. Cool, I get that. That makes sense. But I don't think that was the case because what was said was the promises came from Lee Hutton, the deals, the contracts, the payments, that all came from Lee Hutton. Lee Hutton made those promises. Now, it was supposed to allegedly Lee Hutton promised that the games will be played on NFL Network. Now, Boulevard, I think you watch NFL Network almost every day. I watch
Mhm.
NFL Network almost every day. There was no sign, not a single sign of an arena football league anywhere on NFL Network. So
Nope.
was that a was that a lie? That's possible. I don't. And to be honest with you, Lee Hutton's a Minnesota lawyer. What makes us believe that a Minnesota lawyer has enough pull to reach out to the NFL and say, "Hey, give me a deal"? NFL Network and say, "Give me a deal." I didn't see any partnerships between the AFL and the NFL. That was never announced. So why would they give you access to my channel? I feel like this was rushed and they did everything in their power to make themselves look better than it was. And one thing that they failed to do was announce anything. There was no advertisement. There was no face of the team. Honestly, the only reason why certain people even know who Lee Hutton is right now is because his face is being plastered as the poster child of fucked up league. That's why we
I
know who Lee
literally
Hutton
never heard
is.
his name before today. I mean, before what, 2 days ago? No idea.
I only know because when the league first started, I kept like when they first announced that the league was coming back, I immediately was looking at who was going to be who. I was immediately looking this stuff up. But I immediately got bad vibes by the way that they started doing this. It's just a lot of foreshadowing because the way they did training camps, they did like a big thing. There was no owners go scout players because that's how they did it before. I don't know if there was like a They're just like, hey, yeah, clusterfuck. Everybody come here and try out. And it
Boy,
was
don't
just
sound
like,
no different than Roy
we don't.
Johnson to me. That's all I'm saying. Like that's what he looked like to me. He looked like the Bishop Sycamore coach. Talked a lot, talked a good game, but couldn't do it. Could not do it.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you say that because in this article there's parallels.
I mean, you can't
Was
help
it
but see
in it?
some.
In the season's first week, one franchise called it quits. Another player got evicted from their motel. Online observers were already saying Hutton's outfit was to sports leagues what Bishop Sycamore was to high school football.
Mm.
And it's so sad that we have to go through this because you and I have discussed projects like this, but we're not announcing anything. We're not announcing intent at all because we know that even if we were to be serious about a project like this, it's going to take some time. We have to find backers. We have to have owners locked in already. That means we got to start canvassing. Those owners got to start canvassing. They got to canvass the area. You got to put partnerships. You got to start doing community. You got to hold tryouts in your city. They did this so wrong. I don't know. And I'm going to say this. I don't know if Jeff Fisher is going to be able to save it because the damage is already done. Players are still owed money. Does this mean that Jeff Fisher is going to come in, take his own money that he has, put it into the league, and say, "Here, pay those players"?
Hell no.
Exactly. He's not going to do that.
No.
So if we don't know where the money is now, when Lee Hutton was sitting in the big chair, if we don't know where the money was while Lee Hutton is sitting in a chair, why do we believe that Jeff Fisher can come in and do it? And like I said earlier, Lee Hutton, like I say here, look at my tag, my headline. It says, "I got fired, but I'm not fired," if that makes sense. Lee Hutton,
I was wondering about that.
was terminated. Lee Hutton was terminated, but he cannot be terminated because the owners of the team have no say per the bylaws. The bylaws say that the owners can't vote him out, especially can't do so in the middle of the season. Now, how is it that Jeff Fisher's been named interim commissioner? Which on, mind you, they have two different websites. On one website, they actually do have that Jeff Fisher was hired as the AFL interim commissioner. On the other site, there's nothing. We don't know which site. So that's just piss poor planning right there. But I have an idea of how that works. So I think every day when they had their league meetings, they had the owners get together and they're talking. I think what's going on is Lee Hutton's like, yeah, let me come attend this meeting. And they're like, no, you're not invited. You can't come into this meeting. And it's basically like you're like a figurehead for this shadow government, or like you just don't have any say in this. You're the face that's going to take you're the fall guy essentially. And that's what Lee Hutton is. I think they just rolled this out way too fast. I remember when the XFL announced they were coming back. They announced it. They did some periodicals, but I believe it took them 2-3 years before they actually launched, before they took the field for the first time.
Right.
I think it took them 2-3 years before they took the field. And here's my thing about the AFL. The Indoor Football League going strong. Said that already.
Right.
The National Arena League going strong. Why would you try to do something when they failed already? You failed before. Now, you failed. Now, here's the thing about the XFL. The XFL failed before because of poor management. They relaunched and they had a solid. I'm not going to put the credit on Dwayne Johnson. I'm gonna put that credit solely on not solely on Danny Garcia, because a lot of Redbird Capital, but Danny Garcia, Redbird Capital, and yes, Dwayne Johnson. They got together and they planned. They made sure they had all their ducks in a row before they said we're going to take the field. The USFL, they did something crazy to me, which isn't that crazy because it's kind of unique. They started a league and all their games were played in the same location. It was the spring league. All the players played in the same location. I think it was like the same two teams playing every week, but it was making money. And what they did was they made money, they made capital. They had backing already. The Spring League, all the Spring League did was change their name from the USFL and announce other teams. Now, this merger, great, it works for them. I don't know if AFL was trying to do the same thing, but you can't duplicate something when you don't have the proper leadership. And I feel like that was where they messed up because they're trying to do what they did with Tagley-Boo. Because Tagley-Boo was an attorney before he became the commissioner. I'm pretty sure Roger Goodell's a former attorney as well. They thought
Silver is a former attorney.
Yeah. I think they were trying to take that whole attorney thing, and that's not always going to work. The NFL is the NFL. And you say it a lot, Boulevard. You say it a lot. You can't duplicate what the NFL is doing. You can't duplicate that because the NFL can have a commissioner slap the president, and it's not going to affect the league at all. The AFL, you miss a player's paycheck, yeah, you're doomed to fail. You're doomed to fail. You can't do what the NFL is doing. They are a whole different animal, and like it's just crazy to me because I was looking forward to seeing what the AFL was going to do. I was excited about it. I've always been excited about the Philadelphia Soul, the Philly Soul, and this kind of just blows it all up for me. It ruins it for me, and I feel like if Jeff Fisher managed to be able to salvage what's left of this league, I feel like I have a bad taste in my mouth because of what happened. So,
it's going to take a lot to bounce back from it. That's damn sure. I don't see it happen. I really
I don't see it happen.
I mean, they can hope for a merger with one of the other indoor leagues, but no. This is it for the AFL. There's no coming back from this. Lee Hutton, you ruined what used to be an okay thing. Good job, idiot.
Mm-hmm.
All you had to do was wait a year, figure out the money situation before you go throwing players on the field trying to get on to play football for free.
100%.
You damn fool.
Yeah.
And the rest of you owners, you're fool. You're just as fucking foolish for going along with it. You had to know something was amiss. I mean, your owners, your owners. I assume you have money, like so. You were not asking questions about the money. No one was questioning where it was coming from. What was your plan? This is what I need to know. What was the plan for revenue in this league? Because if you got to play players, you got to have money. So where was that coming from? What were your plans? This is what I need to know. Because when you 2 weeks in and players ain't been paid yet, something fishy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it embezzlement?
Yeah.
Is it business planning? What? But as far as the leadership, y'all need to start calling your damn attorneys.
Yeah, 100%. Because
this is going to be a while. Take a long time to sort out.
Yeah. And it's just always, and 100%, it's going to come back to it. It's going to come back to it. It's going to keep coming back to it. Mm-hmm. Where did the money go? Where is the money?
Where is money? Money.
Because, and I'll say this: there are teams out there, or leagues out there that don't have big TV deals, and they're not having these issues.
Right.
There and I'll say this: there are leagues out there that don't pay players regular salaries,
Right.
and they don't pay people regular salaries. What they do is they sell jerseys, or they sell different things, or they do raffles. They sell tickets, and players get a portion of that. Let's say, like you want to sell 500 tickets in a game. You got 500 seats. You give a player 10. Sell these for 100 a pop. You get 50% of that. Boom. That's what some leagues do because they know they're not going to make enough money for players. So you leave it to the player to sell tickets. It happens. They don't even have to sell it for 100 because the Gridiron Developmental Football League, they do that. They tell their players, "Hey, we're doing a raffle. Sell these tickets. We're doing events. Sell these tickets. Whatever you decide to sell these tickets for, you get a profit." That's what there's some of these leagues are doing. And this is like, and it's kind of like you had players, they have their own what they call profit sharing. So there's ways of going about it. And the Arena Football League just was like
the ways of going about it all involve having an actual plan.
Just none.
Yeah.
Like I truly feel like if Boulevard and myself, as you know, we are brothers.
No, they didn't figure that out yet.
If we decided to put our heads together and start a league, it'll probably take 5 to 10 years before we get it off the ground. And that's just being like, safe. We could probably get it off.
Got all sorts of legal situations.
Yeah.
Contracts.
But we're not going to rush it in there.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely will take a while.
Yeah.
And that's probably good. It's better to be safe than just throwing everything at the wall and hoping you'll find some money somewhere to pay the players.
Yeah, because I think it's going to take a good amount of time before you even say, "Hey, let's go out and have a combine." No, we're not doing that yet. We're not doing that yet. We got to make sure we making people. What one thing we're gonna do? One thing that I'm big on is put the brand out there. Put the brand out there before you start advertising anything else. Before you start talking about players getting games, before you start promising salaries, before you start promising TV deals, what you do is market your product. You go out there and you put your foot on the pedal, you put the foot on the sidewalk, start stomping it out, and you make your own plan, and you go out there and put it out there yourself. You start stapling posters to telephone poles. You go out there with your big, thick Scotch tape, and you start taping shit to windows. You walk into the laundromat, post a big stack of flyers in the laundromat. You go to the gym, take those flyers, smack them on the table. Guess what gyms do? Sometimes gyms won't even say anything about your ad. They won't say anything about your poster. They'll just take your poster, straighten it up, make it look neat. Sometimes they'll say, "No, give me $100 to lead us here." Boom, whatever. Boom, $100. I mean, at the end of the day, this is business. You put $100 out there, and then you got a bunch of gym nuts walking through. What's this? Football? Oh, the Arena Football League. Because guess what? Here's one thing that Lee Hutton failed to do, that anybody in management at the Arena Football League failed to do. The Arena Football League, everyone knows what the fuck the Arena Football League is. It made money. It was a success for a long time. They used to sell out stadiums. I remember I used to watch as a young lad. I wanted to play. They had a video game. EA Sports had a Arena Football League video game. It was interesting. They had Kurt Warner. They had Jeff Garcia's brother or whoever he was. It made money for a long time. Everybody wants to see players throw 20 touchdowns in a game. People want to see that. We want to see 80-point games. That's interesting. So what do? You market it. You go out there, you already have name recognition. The Arena Football League. Boom, right here. Put that on a poster right here. Somebody walks by. I say Arena Football League. Let me go talk to my buddies. Let's go see what they want to do. You want to do it? Yeah. Go to the high school football teams.
Check the private chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to your buddies. Go to the high school. Oh, we're gonna have to play that before. I don't know. Can we?
No.
I don't know.
I was thinking that's how we close out the episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some good shit for the end of the episode.
So
maybe just fade
I'm
out
saying
with that.
that
Should we? Yeah.
they fucked up a good thing, and I feel like there's no coming back from this. There's no relaunch. No billionaire needs to touch this after this. All like, if this fails again, please, billionaires out there,
No
do not
billionaire
touch this.
with any damn sense was not interested.
Don't touch this with a 10-foot, 100-foot, a million-foot pole. Like, Jesus. Do not. It's done. It's done. Kick it, bury it. It's done. It's done. Just like this episode. If you've gotten this long,
get the table.
So, before we go, Boulevard wants to
ASL.
share something. Yes, euthanizer. Boulevard wants to show us something, but before he shows us something, I would like you guys to do me a favor. Hit that like button and the subscribe button. And go ahead and please enjoy what Boulevard wants to share with us.
Exclusive shit. I got that new shit. I got that SOG CD, that CJ GJ, that Garner Johnson shit. Y'all ready for it? Exclusive. As soon as I remember to open it up so y'all can see it. Hype, get hype, stay hype. Oh yes. Hype shit. 2024. We don't want war.
2024.
I get excited. Jump up in the coupe, I go so fast, I get excited.
Pause.
My resume in the middle, they shining. I get a bad bitch, I put it in motion like a Titan. Hit it from the back and she diving like a Viking. Just in designer and she moving, yeah, so silent. Go y'all hold 100 right, you know that she so violent. Papa at a raw when I'm renting out a 5 print. 100 minutes car, we're reclining in the mirror. I got a bad bitch and pass this out, I don't play that. My brother in the back, he pushing people, he don't play that. Too many damn diamonds when I'm cruising in the Maybach. Long, little bit busy, independent, boy, say that. Along with my Dino when I'm flying across the country. I'm singing to my bitch, it got me feel like they be rough. My brother on the road, he faced the time we can't discuss. My brother in the night, he in the traffic, got it jumping. And when it come to my brother, I'm gon' slide with no repercussions. And when it fall for shot, we gon' slide, we ain't gon' pun it. You see me shining in the Maybach. Too many shots, we don't play that. 100,000 up in the sign up, I don't play that. Truck in the front of the ride, where your paper. I get a bad bitch, I put it in motion like a Titan. Hit it from the back and she diving like a Viking. Just in designer and she moving, yeah, so silent. Go y'all hold 100 right, you know that she so violent. Papa at a raw when I'm renting out a 5 print. 100 minutes car, we're reclining in the Maybach. I got a bad bitch and pass this out, I don't play that. My brother in the back,
All right. I had to. Yeah, please go check it out. SOG, what was that? CJ CD, SOG CD. Go check that out. We would have played the rest of it, but you know.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Yeah, shut up.
They gotta go part of that.
Yeah, we don't want to give anything, but shout out to CJ GJ.
Yeah.
Shout out to CJ, because welcome back to the Greenville.
The track.
And we say all of that to say one thing, ladies and gentlemen. Especially you guys that are leaving the AFL teams. We can't all be starters. So Boulevard, please do the honors and let these people know how we want them to do here in the first episode of season 3.
I almost don't want to because I feel like it already happened to him. It's like I feel like I'm just putting a hat on the hat by telling him to do this, but this is what we do around here. So since you're already sitting there waiting for it anyway, I might as well appease you and tell you what you already know, and that is hit the bench.